help me get up! I got him!
Surprise, surprise, you get me one final time this year at the 11th hour. I decided I better come up right before 2013 ended because last night's Raw didn't suck. Here I thought nothing else major was going to happen for the rest of the year, and it turned out to be a really good Raw with a few surprises and a couple of twists that I don't think any of us were expecting, and it actually makes me look forward to what we might see in 2014 because now leading up to WrestleMania 30, we've got all sorts of possibilities. So I really felt I had no choice. I've got to come up here and do a quick impromptu commentary on some of the surprises we saw to close out 2013. Raw last night saw the return of Brock Lesnar. This was a crazy situation because the holiday schedule fucked up all the fucking tapings, and this is why I thought Raw was taped tonight, because I saw the two shows, the live event in Toronto. I mean, why the fuck are they running a house show on the night that they're airing Raw live? That makes no fucking sense to me. There was no Cena, no Orton, no problem, because the show was fucking awesome. The Brock Lesnar situation, though, I found funny because the way the tapings worked out, they had to tape SmackDown before they taped the live Raw, which means they have to react to things on SmackDown that happened on Raw that they have not yet even taped. So it's just kind of fucking ass backwards. So it got spoiled that Brock Lesnar apparently was going to come back and fuck up Mark Henry somehow. And that's exactly what happened. Brock Lesnar returned to the WWE with Paul Heyman, and they were brought back, ironically, by Triple H. I've even mentioned in recent commentaries that I wouldn't even be surprised at all to see Brock Lesnar and Triple H form some sort of, not necessarily an alliance, but they'll just coexist. And sure enough, Triple H brings them back. We've had our war. It's best for business. Come on out. He shakes hands with Brock. He shakes hands with Paul Heyman. And Brock's on to his new mission. Now, according to the promo, he's not here to settle old scores. He's here to get a fucking title match. Now, this is where it throws all sorts of great possibilities. I love this. A lot of people, Brock Lesnar getting a title match, people are probably happy about that, but where does this leave Daniel Bryan? We'll talk about D-Bryan in a minute. And here we go again with that same situation like when The Rock came back. Is it okay? Do the wrestling fans, are they really okay with guys that wrestle 2 to 3 times per year getting WWE title shots? I mean, they bitch so much about John Cena, who wrestles on every fucking house show, Raw, SmackDown. As long as he's healthy, he's working. And he's been doing that for 10 years, but they complain when he gets the title shot. Yet somebody who comes in who just sits on their ass at home and works, a handful of times per year gets the title shot. Is that fair? Of course it's not fair, but who fucking cares? That's another debate for another time. Brock is a big money player, and I personally have no problem whatsoever with him getting a title shot because it's about business. It's about money. It's about drawing. And if Brock Lesnar is going to be suddenly thrown into this WWE title picture, when does he get this title match? Because he's come out there and declared himself the number one contender. He's not going to have to enter the Royal Rumble. He's just going to flat out get one. So when does he get one? At Elimination Chamber? I don't like the sound of that. Brock Lesnar, it seems to me, should be, in the main event of WrestleMania if he's going to be wrestling for the title. Unless he wins the title before WrestleMania and then drops it at WrestleMania. Could be a very big possibility. But who does he drop it to? The Undertaker? There's been rumors of the Brock Lesnar and Undertaker match, but I don't want the Undertaker to win the WWE title. Taker comes once a year now to give us a kick-ass WrestleMania match. He is not healthy enough or able enough to wrestle for the WWE title. So if Brock goes into WrestleMania as champion and faces the Undertaker with the streak on the line, that's almost a given. Undertaker's going to be the WWE champion. But how is he going to fucking defend that belt? But that's only one option. We have thousands of options here. There's another guy coming back. We'll see him in a couple of weeks too, Batista. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this has got to be the first time where all of these guys, as major stars, are under the same roof. Cena, Orton, Batista, Brock. Those guys came in together, worked OVW. They were the future of the company, but they were never all there at the same time when they were huge stars. When Brock left, Randy Orton and Batista were just getting started. Randy Orton was the IC champ, and Batista was basically low man on the totem pole in Evolution. So they've never all been there together when they're all huge. So with all these guys in the mix, you got to wonder that the four of them, I'm thinking, might be be interacting with each other going into WrestleMania. I mean, there's even the possibility, I don't think they would do it, and I'm not saying this is a good idea, I'm just saying it's an idea. Remember WrestleMania 16? Remember the main event? I hope to God that they do not do a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania 30 in the main event, but you could conceivably see those four guys all wrestling each other. I think it would be a clusterfuck and a terrible match. I wouldn't want to see it. Don't piss your pants. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I'm just saying it's an idea. But hopefully all of this Brock Lesnar title shot stuff is really just going to lead for some mega confrontation at WrestleMania 30 for him. And there's a million different options, like I said. What about the guy he just kicked the shit out of? I mean, Mark Henry, he beat him down like a piece of shit, screaming like a girl. Mark Henry just randomly came out there to get the crap beaten out of him by Brock Lesnar, and he's not going to get any retaliation. You have to think that these guys might have a match. Or maybe they just used Mark Henry just to get Brock Lesnar over huge and there's not going to be a match. And if that's the case, thank you, Mark Henry, for taking that fucking kick-ass F5 from him and that tackle through the barricade, which looked like he legitimately got hurt on. I hope Mark Henry's okay. And there's another guy you can't completely forget about. Who did Brock Lesnar beat at SummerSlam? CM Punk. Maybe Brock Lesnar gets the title shot and CM Punk costs him the match. And that, of course, then leads to CM Punk getting his rematch with Brock Lesnar to avenge the defeat from SummerSlam. Or maybe CM Punk wrestles Triple H at WrestleMania 30. Don't forget, Triple H and Brock Lesnar now have a common enemy in CM Punk. So that could easily play a role. But it's way too early to predict. We don't even know this is where this is going to lead. All we've heard so far is that Brock Lesnar most likely is going to get a title shot. But you just have to wonder, when will that title shot be? It will not be at the Royal Rumble. We already know the main event there. Stephanie came out and announced that John Cena is going to get his rematch with Randy Orton. I'm sure that pisses off all sorts of people. You know what? It's been a long fucking year. You guys make my fucking head hurt. I don't have time to debate it. Too fucking bad. John Cena lost the World Heavyweight title at TLC. Former champions have rematch clauses. Cena vs. Orton Part 2 at the Royal Rumble. What the fuck can you do about it? Nothing. And who cares? Again, like I've said so many times, let them do this now with these guys. This is much better than having Cena and Randy Orton wrestle at WrestleMania 30. Who comes out of the match as champion? Again, I don't know, nor do I care. I would probably say Randy Orton will come out of the match as champion. I wouldn't mind seeing for a minute a Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar match. I mentioned that in the 5-hour Q&A when I was talking about, potential WrestleMania matches for this year. Maybe they have a match at Elimination Chamber and Brock beats him and goes into Mania 30 as champion. I have no idea. I'm starting to think that Randy Orton might very well hang on to the title until WrestleMania 30. And who his opponent is from there, who fucking knows? Like I said, we got Cena, we got Brock, we got Batista. I mean, Triple H and Randy Orton are already on the same side, because Triple H and Stephanie have chose Randy Orton as the face of the company. When Batista comes back, is he going to come back like Brock did? Is Triple H going to introduce him and shake his hand? That's 3/4 of evolution right there. And fuck, Ric Flair, I think, is even coming back on next week's Old School Raw. So it's just an idea. I'm just rambling, talking out of my ass, trying to think of all these great possibilities that we now have. With Brock Lesnar coming back, with Batista coming back, with Brock now saying he's going to get a title match, and with an apparent heel turn. Now, I know there's no faces and heels apparently anymore, but we all know that's bullshit. You mean to tell me Bray Wyatt is not a fucking heel? You mean to tell me Randy Orton's not a heel? Let's just forget about that stupid internet story, brush it under the rug as another stupid fucking thing that the WWE says. Just like they can't say wrestler and 5-star match and chair shot and all that other stupid shit. This is just another dumbass thing that they're doing. Let's just ignore it. But a heel turn looks like it did take place on Monday Night Raw. Daniel Bryan gets the crap beaten out of him by the Wyatts. He's forced to go in there in a gauntlet match against all three of them. Of course, he beats the first two. And then they just viciously beat down Daniel Bryan at the end. He's groveling. He's crawling. Bray Wyatt's doing all of his creepy shit. And finally, Daniel Bryan gets on the mic and says, "You're right." He says, "These motherfuckers have been out here chanting, 'Yes, every goddamn night I work,' and the WWE doesn't give a shit." Basically, he says, "Take me, I'm yours." So now he has given up hope, it looks like. He has joined the Wyatt family. Now, this to me is so goofy. I mean, these Nimrods in WWE creative. This phrase was uttered at least once during creative meetings. "Why don't we put Daniel Bryan with the Wyatts? Because, he already has a beard." I guarantee you, at least one idiot said that. I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, kind of mixed emotions, but I don't think this is really necessarily a demotion for Daniel Bryan. Everybody's like, oh, he's screwed. His fucking title push is completely buried now. He's going to be mid-card for life. That's not what it looks like to me. I don't know if you've noticed, but the WWE seems to like Bray Wyatt. They have big plans for him and this faction. He's on his way up. I don't think he's mid-card anything. I mean, hell, they were main event on Raw, weren't they? Fans have got to let go of this idea that, it's so different now. Everybody thinks that if you're not champion and you're not anything, Daniel Bryan is involved in main event storylines, top storylines, and high-profile matches on pay-per-views. He's doing wonderfully. Daniel Bryan is having a great career. He still is a former World Heavyweight Champion and WWE Champion. That's a very short list, okay? It's not like this guy hasn't had any success at all. Yes, it's nice to be WWE World Heavyweight Champion, but at the same time, it's not going to make or break your career because Daniel Bryan's already been champion and he's involved in great stuff. The things that he is doing right now, I think, is highly entertaining. His feud with the Wyatts, him now joining the Wyatts, all the great matches that they've had, that's good stuff. Daniel Bryan will have his day one day, but you got Brock Lesnar, you got Batista, you got Randy Orton, you got John Cena. Where does Daniel Bryan fit into that equation? I think it's too early to tell at this point if this is all a setup by Daniel Bryan. Maybe he's just pretending. I don't know. There could always be that situation. But I kind of hope not, because this should at least make for some interesting TV. And what the fuck are they going to do about the Diva show? I don't watch the Diva show, but isn't Daniel Bryan on that a lot? So he's going to have to act like some fucking weird-ass Wyatt guy on this Diva show? What's he going to do, fuck Brie in the goat mask? So it seems to me in the long run, this could be short-lived. I don't think a year from now, Daniel Bryan is still going to be in the Wyatt family. I think he might join up with them real quick here at the beginning of the year, but then something's going to happen. I mean, shit, what if it comes down to Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan and the last two guys in the Royal Rumble? And Daniel Bryan, hell, I'm not counting him out yet. You heard what he said. The WWE is making a storyline out of the fact that the fans are chanting yes, 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 but the WWE continues to go with guys like Randy Orton and John Cena for the business reasons that are both understood on and off camera. I mean, it's a work shoot. The storyline is real. Daniel Bryan is right. The WWE is making a storyline out of this. This is good. They are acknowledging that the fans want Daniel Bryan. He's over his shit, but yet the company is not giving him the opportunities that he and a lot of the fans think he should get. They are acknowledging that on TV. That only means good things for Daniel Bryan. He's acknowledging the fact that a lot of fans feel that he's being, quote, buried. He's not being fucking buried, because if you saw Daniel Bryan's paychecks and his payoff for pay-per-views, you would realize that he is not being buried at all. He's actually being taken care of quite well. If I can be buried and make that kind of money, I would say bury me all fucking day long. So keep in mind, Daniel Bryan's not going out there and doing this shit for free. People act like he's being completely shit on. Daniel Bryan, I don't think, would trade his life for anybody else's. As far as him not winning the WWE title, hey, like I said, it's not like he's never won it. Hell, he's won both belts. I think that's still coming. The WWE wouldn't bring up this storyline if they didn't have that in the plans. But I don't see them turning Daniel Bryan into a piece of shit or a broken man. If anything, can you blame Daniel Bryan? I think the fans have been as frustrated as he has been, and in a really sick, perverted, disgusting way. It kind of reminds me of when like some high school kid just gets bullied real bad and then he just fucking snaps and goes and shoots a school up. And of course these kids are always very crazy, very eccentric, and just fucking not right in the head. And maybe all the shit that's been dumped on Daniel Bryan by the WWE in the last 6 months has made him snap and made him go fucking schizo. Now he's joining the Wyatt family and he's nuts. Either way, this adds a dimension to Daniel Bryan's character. We'll see him in a new light, see what kind of range he has. This can all be good. And like I said, don't expect this shit to still be going on a year from now. This just might be a temporary solution. Give Daniel Bryan, like I said, something to do while all these big megastars are here for WrestleMania. And what happens after WrestleMania? Everybody leaves. Who's to say they're not going to put him in the title picture at WrestleMania? They could swerve us all. You know, the Royal Rumble has got an endless amount of possibilities. And I just thought of something. Could you imagine a Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan confrontation? Holy shit. So with this new storyline of Daniel Bryan's, if it picks up momentum and it gets really over, you know, the WWE might not have no choice but to rewrite some of this stuff and make plans for Daniel Bryan and throw him in the middle of all these megastars. But all in all, I liked Raw. You know, they kept John Cena and Randy Orton off the show, and yet a lot of things still went down. You know, the Daniel Bryan angle was great. Brock Lesnar coming back and almost killing Mark Henry and declaring himself the #1 contender was extremely interesting, and it makes you wonder about all the possibilities leading forward. So that's it for me. I'm officially now done for the year. Thank you for WWE for making me come up here and doing another fucking commentary too, by the way. So you guys have a great New Year's Eve. Stay safe. Have a great New Year's Day. If anybody's watching the Rose Bowl, go Michigan State. You will probably hear from me again after next week's Old School Raw. So until then, Happy New Year. Peace.